everybody, Questwise here, and today I want to talk about some stuff, something I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's just to go through my gaming library and just pull something random off the shelf and talk about it. I'm going to call these my oddball reviews because they're just games that are on my shelf that are more reference, that I don't ever get to play anymore, or maybe have never played and just have picked up because of I thought they were cool, or whatever. I was going to use them as a resource kind of thing, or I really wanted to play it, but I haven't found anybody to play it with me. The game I want to talk about today is a game I bought a long time ago, and now my gaming library is it's pretty big. I'm not gonna lie. I spend a lot of money on this hobby, but sometimes I will get rid of some stuff. Sometimes I will donate it to a cause, and I'll donate it to silent auction or to a fundraiser or some kind of thing. Sometimes I will actually even sell them to the community. I will put them up via Facebook for a sale. So that way I get a little bit of money back out of it, but also it goes to a good home and somebody else can really enjoy it. But there are certain games that I just will not give up. And this is one of those games that I'm going to talk about today. This game is called Rune, and is by Robin Laws. If the name sounds familiar, Robin Laws has done a lot of great stuff, right? He's the author behind Feng Shui, the Gumshoe Engine, I believe, as well too, and a ton of other stuff. He's been a part of the hobby community for a very, very long time, and been a contributor to a lot of that. This is a game that came out a long time ago, and I bought it when it was new at a local store that's not even around anymore. I just want to see. Looks like 2001. So, this is a pretty old game. But this game is really, really cool. So this is a game based upon a video game. I believe it was on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure it was like PlayStation 2. It was put out by Human Head Studios, and it was a game about Vikings. And you played a Viking named Ragnar, of course. You fought your way through. It was basically a fighting game. There were some puzzles and some traps you had to overcome, but it basically was a fighting game. And so Robin Laws, via Atlas Games and Human Head Studios, put out this role-playing game version. And at one point, I can even see, you can't really see it on the camera, but there's tape in here. The game disc was actually included in the book itself, so you could play the video game as well too. But this is one of those games that, the artwork is all drawn from the actual video game itself. There's screen captures and artwork from, character design and stuff. So it has a very video game look to it. The game itself has a very video game feel to it. And this is one of those role-playing games that is competitive. Somebody can win every session. The idea is that you're creating a Viking character, and you are competing against all the other players in the game for glory. That means that you're going to be going through situations. The game master revolves in this as well too. So one session, one person will be in charge, and their character will actually set out for that session, and they will create a scenario. And it could be everything from a battle to a trapped, dungeon, those kinds of things. And they will run you through their session, their creation. And you are competing against the other players to bring back to the Longhouse the most glory. And at the end of every session, there will be a winner, and your character will get experience for that. And you can use those characters in the next session. And the game master will revolve, and each person will get a chance to create their own scenarios to run the other players through to try to accumulate glory. Now, if that means offing some of the other characters in the group, so be it, right? But it has to be done in such a way that, to kill off the other characters doesn't bring a whole lot of glory. But if it's, if you happen to step outside of the giant monster that eats them, that's glory for you because you're the one able to take down the monster. But there's a lot of cool stuff in this game. It does have a little bit of it does draw heavily from Norse mythology, but it also has a lot of stuff that's sort of on the more, not even steampunkier side. There are dwarves in here, but they can create creation. They can make these crazy, they're not clockwork, they're like steam powered automatons and stuff as well too. So they have a technology that's sort of up and above, I guess kind of steampunky in a sense as well too. But it has everything. It has, Viking weapons and different abilities. You have uh, powers that you can, runic powers that you can activate that give you cool things. They have different weapons, divine gifts. You choose a god, and the gods will, as you begin to appease them, will give you divine gifts of things, be they weapons or special abilities or powers. It is a cool, fun little game. I've only played it a few times, but it's one of those games that I will never get rid of because I draw a lot of inspiration from this game. And it's a cool twist on things like the traditional form of role-playing stuff, right? Role-playing games for a long time they've been very cooperative in storytelling aspect of things. It wasn't since maybe the early days of D&D that had the idea that they were competitive type games and that you could play them competitively. And this was brought back in Rune, the idea that you wanted to accumulate more glory than your other players and your other friends at the table and stuff too. So I believe you can find this online. I don't know if there's any PDF of this. I didn't really do a lot of research in the see. I know this is out of print. You probably could find a copy on eBay. Last time I looked for this, it was going for fairly cheap. It wasn't a super popular game, but I really loved it. I thought it was really, really cool. You probably find some copies on eBay or Abe Books, maybe even half price books, that kind of stuff as well too. But Rune by Robin D. Laws, Human Head Studios, and Atlas Games. Until next time, I'm Questwise, and I am out.